Page 42, the Buddha's ministry. During his long ministry of 45 years, the Buddha walked widely throughout the northern districts of India, but during the rains retreat Vasa, he generally stayed in one place. Here follows a brief sketch of his retreats gathered from the text. First year, Varanasi. After the first proclamation of the Dhamma on the full moon day of July, the Buddha spent the first Vasa at Isapatana, Varanasi. The second, third, and fourth years, Rijugaha, in the bamboo grove, Veluvana. It was during the third year that Sudatta, a householder of Savatthi, known for his bounty as Anathapindika, the feeder of the forlorn, having heard that a Buddha had come into being, went in search of him, listened to him, and having gained confidence, Sada, in the teacher, the teaching, and the thought, the Buddha Dhamman Sangha, attained the very first stage of sainthood, Sotapaddi. He was renowned as the chief supporter, Dayaka, of the Master. Anathapindika had built the famous Jetavana monastery at Savatthi, known today as Sahemahat, and offered it to the Buddha and his disciples. The ruins of this monastery are still to be seen. Fifth year, Vasali. The Buddha kept retreat in the pinnacled hall, Kutagaransala. It was at this time that King Suddhodana fell ill. The Master visited him and preached the Dhamma, hearing which the king attained perfect sanctity, Arahata, and after enjoying the bliss of emancipation for 7 days, passed away. The order of nuns was also founded during this time. Sixth year, Mankula Hill. Here the Buddha performed the twin wonder, Yamaka Patihariya. He did the same for the first time at Kapilavatthu to overcome the pride of the Sakyas, his relatives. Seventh year, Tavatimsa, the heaven of the 33. Here the Buddha preached the Abhidhamma, or the higher doctrine, to the deities, devas. Headed by his mother, Mahamaya, who had passed away 7 days after the birth of Prince Siddhartha, and was reborn as a deva in Tavatimsa. Eighth year, Besakala Forest, near Samsumara Giri. It was here that Nakulapita and his wife, a Janayal couple, came to see the Buddha, told him about their very happy married life, and expressed the wish that they might continue to live together both here and hereafter. These two were placed by the Buddha as chiefs of those that win confidence. Ninth year, Kosambi, at the Koshita Monastery. 10th year, Parilayaka Forest. It was in the 10th year that, at Kosambi, a dispute arose between two parties of monks, owing to a trivial offense committed by a monk. As they could not be reconciled, and as they did not pay heed to his exhortation, the Buddha retired to the forest. At the end of Vasa, their dispute settled, the monks came to Savatthi and begged pardon of the Buddha. 11th year, village of Ikanala, in the Magadha country. It was here that the Buddha met the Brahmin farmer Kasibharadvaja, who spoke to the Buddha somewhat discourteously. The Buddha, however, answered his questions with his characteristic sobriety. Bharadvaja became an ardent follower of the Buddha. It was on this occasion that the very interesting discourse, Kasibharadvaja Sutta, Sutta Nipata, was delivered. 12th year, Viranja. The introduction of the Vinaya is attributed to the 12th year. It was also during this retreat that the Brahmin Viranja came to see the Buddha, asked a series of questions on Buddhist practices, and being satisfied with the answers, became a follower of the Blessed One. He invited the Master and the Sangha to spend the rainy season at his village Viranja. At that time there was a famine. The Buddha and his disciples had to be satisfied with very coarse food supplied by horse merchants. As it was the custom of the Buddha to take leave of the inviter before setting out on his journey, he saw the Brahmin at the end of the Vasa, The latter admitted that though he had invited the Buddha and his disciples to spend the retreat at Varanja, he had failed in his duties towards them during the entire season, owing to his being taxed with household duties. However, the next day he offered food and gifts of robes to the Buddha and the Sangha. 13th year, Kaliya Rock, near the city of Kalika. During this time, the elder Mahiya was his personal attendant. The elder, being attracted by a beautiful mango grove near a river, asked the Buddha for permission to go there for meditation. Though the Buddha asked him to wait till another monk came, he repeated the request. The Buddha granted him permission. The elder went, but to his great surprise, he was oppressed by thoughts of sense pleasures, ill will, and harm, and returned disappointed. Thereupon the Buddha said, Maggiya, for the deliverance of the mind of the immature, 5 things are conducive to their maturing: a good friend, virtuous behavior guided by the essential precepts for training, good counsel tending to dispassion, calm, cessation, enlightenment, and nibbana, the effort to abandon evil thoughts, and acquiring of wisdom that discerns the rise and fall of things. 14th year, Jetavana Monastery, Savatthi. During this time, the Venerable Rahula, who was still a novice, Shaminyara, received higher ordination, Upasampada. According to the Vinaya, higher ordination is not conferred before the age of 20. Venerable Rahula had then reached that age. 15th year, Kapilavatu, the birthplace of Prince Siddhartha. It was in this year that the death occurred of King Supabuddha, the father of Yasodhara. 16th year, city of Alavi. During this year, Alavaka, the demon who devoured human flesh, was tamed by the Buddha. He became a follower of the Buddha. For Alavaka's questions and the master's answers, read the Avalaka Sutta and the Sutta Nipata. 17th year, Vajagaha, at Veluvana Monastery. During this time, a well-known courtesan, Sirima, sister of Jivaka the physician, died. The Buddha attended the funeral and asked the king to inform the people to buy the dead body, the body that attracted so many when she was alive. No one cared to have it, even without paying a price. On that occasion, addressing the crowd, the Buddha said in verse, Behold this painted image, a body full of wounds, heaped up with bones diseased, the object of thought of many, in which there is neither permanence nor stability. Dhammapada, page 147. 18th year, Kaliya Rock. During this time, a young weaver's daughter met the Buddha and listened to his discourse on mindfulness of death. On another occasion, she answered correctly all the 4 questions put to her by the master, because she often pondered about the words of the Buddha. Her answers were philosophical, and the congregations who had not given a thought to the Buddha could not grasp the meaning of her answers. The Buddha, however, praised her and addressed them in verse thus, Blind is this world, few here clearly see. Like a bird that escapes from the net, only a few go to a good state of existence. Dhammapada, page 174. She heard the Dhamma and attained the first stage of sanctity, Sotapaddi, but unfortunately she died an untimely death. For a detailed account of this interesting story and the questions and answers, see the commentary on the Dhammapada, volume 3, page 170. 19th year, Kaliya Rock. 20th year, Rajagaha at Veluvana Monastery. From the 21st year till the 43rd year, Savatthi. Of these 24 vases, 18 were spent at Jetavana Monastery, the rest at Pubarama. Anathapindika and Visakha were the chief supporters. 44th year, Beluva, a small village probably situated near Vasali, where the Buddha suppressed by force of will a grave illness. In the 45th year of his enlightenment, the Buddha passed away at Kushinara in the month of May, Visakha, before the commencement of the rains. During the first 20 years of the Buddha's life, the bhikshus Nagasamala, Nagita, Upavana, Sunakata, Hatta, Sagata, Radha, and Meghiya, and the novice Samenama, Samenera. Kunda attended upon him, though not regularly. However, after the 20th year, the Buddha wished to have a regular attendant. Thereon, all the great 80 arhats, like Suriputra and Moggallana, expressed their willingness to attend upon their master, but this did not meet with his approval. Perhaps the Buddha thought that these arhats could be of greater service to humanity. Then the elders requested Ananda Thera, who had kept silent all this while, to beg of the master to be his attendant. Ananda Thera's answer is interesting, he said. If the master is willing to have me as his attendant, he will speak. Then the Buddha said, Ananda, let not others persuade you. You on your own may attend upon me. Page 49.